Pearson, the owner of the Financial Times newspaper for 58 years, today sold the FT Group for £844 million to Nikkei, Japan's largest media company. Joining me now to discuss the sale is John Fallon, Pearson's chief executive. John, Pearson's owned the FT for a long time. It's been proud to be a steward of the FT. Why sell now?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. For 58 years, we've been the proud proprietor of the Financial Times. I think it's been a very mutually beneficial relationship. We've been a strong custodian and steward of the editorial independence and integrity, but we've also invested and supported the global expansion of the FT and then the digital expansion of the FT, which it's done incredibly well. It's not a decision that reached lightly, but over the last year or so, really, in lengthy discussions with Lionel Barber, the editor of the FT, John Ridding, who leads the commercial side, my colleagues on the Pearson board, talking more widely around the media world, I do think, and you know this, that we're at an inflection point. The extraordinary growth of mobile, the fact that more and more people every day now access their journalism through social media of one form or another. This is an incredibly exciting time for the FT to reach more people with its journalism than ever before, but it's also a time when you've got to be paying close attention to how you reimagine and rethink how you make and sell your journalism for this new digital social world. And I thought that was the time when, for Pearson, who is the world's leading education company that also owns the Financial Times, we can be the world's best education company and be completely and absolutely focused with everything that we need to do that. But it's hard to also then be completely and absolutely focused on all the latest trends in journalism, all the things that need to be done to change and transform the business model. And so I felt, the board felt, that what the FT needed now was to be part of a global journalism-led organisation completely and absolutely focused on reinventing newspapers and journalism for this next age.
So does that mean then that Pearson wasn't really willing to invest more in the FT at this point, or thought it would be an expensive transition and somebody else had to do that?
I think I don't think to me, my mind in any way, I don't think investment was the primary issue. I think Pearson has invested in the FT over many years and we could continue to invest. But what Pearson wouldn't bring would be, as Nikkei can, the ability to use a platform to expand into Asia, where I think there's explosive growth and demand for high quality journalism and English language journalism in Asia, which Nikkei can help with. I think a partnership of the FT and Nikkei enables you to grow even more quickly in America. I think the rest of Pearson, because it's an education company, doesn't get the same benefit as the expansion and insight and expertise that the FT's brought to new paid-for models of journalism, whereas that insight and capability will add real value to Nikkei. So I think it's just, you're a global education company or you're a global journalism company, both great things to be,
yes,
but it's hard to ride both horses equally well.
And clearly a lot of people over the years have expressed interest in the FT, have made informal approaches for the FT, have offered money for the FT. What makes you think that Nikkei would be a good owner, and how did you select the sort of owners who you thought would qualify to be the owners that you approve of?
Clearly, my responsibility and that of the Pearson board was to take due account of a range of stakeholders. First and foremost, we obviously had a responsibility to our shareholders to achieve what was clearly a full and fair value for what is a premium, iconic, global business and brand. And I think at the price that we have achieved today from Nikkei and the multiple of operating profit or EBITDA, I think by any benchmark we have achieved that objective. But it was equally important that we found the right home for the Financial Times in terms of the employees and the colleagues, which was why, for example, out of the proceeds of today, we're making further investments into the FT pension fund to ensure that is fully provided for as it transfers over to the new owners. But also it was vitally important that we found an organisation that had the same culture and innate understanding of the value of independent, vibrant, lively, thoughtful, but fair journalism. And everything that I know about Nikkei's history and everything that we explored through due diligence and the lengthy conversations we've had with them gives me confidence that they do.
And did you demand guarantees of the FT's editorial independence? Because the editorial independence is the great value of the business. It's why it's respected around the world.
So I think everyone would recognise that Pearson has been a good proprietor of the FT, certainly in terms of its editorial independence and the like. There is absolutely nothing written down within Pearson's articles of association. There's no contractual or written arrangement between Pearson and the FT that has guaranteed that. And no one has ever thought that necessary in the 58 years that Pearson owned the FT. And that's because I think we all understand that actually culture, leadership, organisational design and structure, and actually track record counts. You know, it is relatively easy to write some artifice or some sort of code of conduct or the like. What matters is actions, leadership, culture, people. And I think everything I know of Nikkei, but more importantly, everything that Nikkei has done through its own long history and the way in which its own commitment to vibrant journalism, you know, without fear or favour, is a fundamental part of its own code, its own philosophy, its own culture. That's the best guarantee.
John, thanks very much.